Hello, my name is Andy and I am the Village Idiot. I'm armed with a car and a GoPro and an unhealthy amount of time on my hands. I'm using that time to attempt to visit every civil parish in England. You're watching the Selby series. Selby is one of 11 subdivisions of the county of North Yorkshire. It's made up of 74 civil parishes, a lot of which are very small. Which one are we in this week? It's a lovely, cool, fresh morning here in the district of Selby. Today we're starting at an industrial estate. This is the A19 Business Park. And it hasn't always been a business park. Historically, although not too far back in history actually, this used to be a coal mine. It was part of the Selby coalfield. And this is located to the south of today's village, and that village is Ricol. This Selby episode is sponsored by Past Days, a family history blog by June Terrington. You'll find a link in the description. Here's my disclaimer for people who may be watching me for the first time. I say things as I would in my native accent and dialect. As a result, I may not pronounce things in the same way as the locals do. Remember, I'm a visitor. It's impossible to know everything. Leave me a comment, spin me a like and bash that subscribe button. Let's get to today's parish video. Ricall, which is pronounced sometimes as Ricol, lies 3.5 miles to the north of Selby and 9 miles south of York. It was historically part of the East Riding of Yorkshire until 1974. Ricall is a village of character in history. The settlement was already well established when it saw the landing of the Vikings in 1066. The early growth of the village took shape in a rough square, surrounding the church and along the main roads to York, Selby and Cawood. Its main charm lies within the large number of farmhouses and cottages here, dating from the 17th, 18th and 19th centuries, with a wide range of brickwork and roofing materials on display. Ricol still looks like a village built on medieval street and footway patterns, and that's thanks to the land not being enclosed here until 1883. Development in the 20th century confined the village to the west of the railway, and that might confuse you because, well, there is no railway. With the advent of the Selby coalfield, the railway line was closed because of potential subsidence, and its route past the village became a bypass, which we now know as the A19. Come with me around another of Selby's fascinating villages. We start at the site of Riccall Mine. This was another of the Selby coalfield mines, operational between 1983 and 2004. The colliery site is located to the southeast of the village. This one's been redeveloped as a business park. It's private and gated, so this is as much as I can show you. Let's get stuck in then with the main village. Our starting point is Burroughs Restaurant on Landing Lane, based in a former windmill. Derelict by 1911, the mill has been a few things over the last century, including a private residence. Over the road we have the Region Centre, an award-winning conference, events and community facility. This houses a bar, 4 outdoor tennis courts and a small sports hall. Ricol has plenty of information boards around the place. You'll find one here, and on the wall, this might grab your attention. This is what's known to the locals as the wind wall. So I'm only 10 shots deep and already we've seen something very interesting. A wind wall. It's not something you see everywhere, is it?
Nope, definitely
it's
not.
very
It's
well.
nice to see things from local people and children to make sort of art and an installation and stuff. It's really nice.
It's up a footpath next, which runs alongside the Jubilee playing fields. Ricol United Football Club play here. After a walk through some housing estates, our next stop is St Mary's Church. There's evidence of a Saxon church on the site of the current one. Early settlers most likely chose the village's site as Ricol sits on a raised plateau above a floodplain of the River Ouse. It might not even be 8:30 in the morning, but the church gates are open, so we are going to go in and have a venture. Oh, hang on, Nicky's found something.
That's in September.
What is it?
Well, they're having a marvellous mouse festival in
Marvellous
September.
Mouse Festival. Is that something to do with Robert Thompson?
Who knows?
Let's see. No, I can't see any mention of him. I'm sure you guys know who Robert Thompson is by now. We've met him in loads of churches before. Anyway, let's go and have a look at this church and see what it can tell us. The first thing of note in the churchyard is the base and shaft of a cross. It's worth mentioning too that earlier this year a wooden cross attached to the entrance of the church was vandalised. About 40 years after the Norman conquest, the current St Mary's was built using stone quarried from a magnesian limestone ridge which lies approximately 8 miles to the west. The old south door of the church has a carved Romanesque arch, and its 12th century 3-stage tower has Norman double window openings. Nicky tested out this bench next, which you can find in the churchyard. It's a war memorial bench dedicated to those from Ricol who died in World War I. The war memorial itself is right next to it. This is something of an Egyptian-style column, according to Nicky. It has 20 names on it for World War I and 5 for World War II. So we will be heading back towards the green later, which you could, well, just about see behind me. It's there. We will catch that in a bit. It's very bright at the moment, so you probably can't see that very well, but when we get there, hopefully it'll be a little bit clearer. Anyway, we're heading down this road, down the side of the church. Now, a few people in the Cliff episode commented about my own comment, saying that it looked very East Riding-ish. Well, that's because both Cliff and Ricol used to be in the East Riding of Yorkshire. Oh, I could not have timed that better. Oh, stop now.
It's only the half-past ding-dongs.
Oh, never mind. Now we're on Kelfield Road and we come to Dairyman's Cottage B&B. This has twice won a Certificate of Excellence from TripAdvisor. We recommend the food too, as we called in after filming. Next, it's Coppergate, and how about this for a bit of character? Check out these awesome silhouettes of the Coldstream Guards. They're on the side of the former blacksmith's cottage. Ricol's primary school now. There's been a school in the village since 1791, but the current building dates from 1931. It's been extended 3 times in 1970, 1989 and 1995. Let me ask you a question, Mrs. How brave are you feeling this morning?
It's not a question that should be in private.
Not for that reason.
Oh, okay.
The reason I'm asking you that question is because at the end of this footpath we need to take a left turn.
Right.
And at the end of this road right here, we've got a choice. We can either come back along this road where we're about to go, or walk down the A19 for a short bit, which will take us to a footpath which comes out there somewhere. The only problem is the A19 doesn't have a footpath. So how brave do you feel?
Let's have a look.
Okay, no problem. This bricked enclosure is the site of Ricol's pinfold, which has a plaque telling you about it. It was fully circular and gated at one time. After restoration in 2004, this is what it looks like today. Now, do you remember the Pickled Postie in Cawood? Its sister shop is here, the Pickled at Ricol. As well as serving as the village's post office, it's also a cafe and it even has a home delivery service. Oh, by the way, cyclists love Ricol. It's on National Route 65 and it's the starting point of the 10-kilometre Cycle the Solar System route, which ends in Dringhouses near York. So we passed a bus stop earlier which had no timetables on it. Purposely didn't capture it on camera. There's another one coming up. We'll see if there's any buses that stop at this one. As it happens, yes, there are buses that stop at these stops. There are no timetables, but Google tells me that the 415 is the bus you need here, which runs between Selby and York. This house with all the ivy on it is Rock Villa, one of the many landmarks which gets a mention on the next information board, on the edge of the Millennium Green. We didn't go into the Millennium Green, but it's open to the public and it has seating, a picnic bench, and it's a haven for wildflowers. It was opened in 2000, partially on the site of an old piggery. So Nikki was going to try out the pickled at Ricol, but it's not open yet.
Not quite.
Not quite. It opens at 9 o'clock and it's 8:58 according to my phone.
I might come back later.
I mean, 2 minutes. 2 minutes, seriously.
I might come back later.
Yeah, I suppose. Let's carry on walking for now. There are 2 pubs in Ricol. This is the Greyhound. It's a family-run village pub that dates back to the late 1800s. It's popular with visitors enjoying the River Ouse walks and the Transpennine Trail. Finally, a parish notice board. I was wondering where these were hiding. This one can be found right next to a shop called Heat It. Give us a thumbs up, Nikki. So this is JP David's Heat It, responsible for heating many a Yorkshire home since 1987. They sell and install wood and multi-fuel stoves, gas and electric fires, and wood, multi-fuel and oil cookers. Riccal House Care Home is next. This is quite small as care homes go. It has space for 17 occupants and features a charming courtyard garden and plenty of varied activities for its residents throughout the week. Here we find a doctor's surgery. This is Beech Tree Surgery, one of the 2 part-time branches of a main practice. The other is in Carlton and the main practice is in Selby. There's so much in the village centre, you don't really know where to look first. Here we have an old Methodist chapel, or it might even still be used as one. Nikki seems to think it is. Let's go across and take a look. It's got a date stone anyway, 1864. Pretty nice. Back to Silver Street next to catch Riccall's Pizza and Grill. I can't really give an opinion on this kind of place unless I've tried them out, so you'll have to place an order and tell us what you think. Almost next door is the Hare and Hounds, Riccall's other pub. You can get a reasonably priced Sunday roast here. Live music and open mic nights are mainstays at this place. The village centre is a triangular area, 2 sides of which are known as Silver Street. It's possible that this was formerly a green and a marketplace, as Ricol was granted a market charter in 1350. There's what I call a triangle board in the middle of it, where there's some more information about local walks and some more village notices. That's ideal for another TVI card then. Okay, so next we go down Station Road, which is this road here, and the name says it all. There used to be a station here in Ricol. It's very unsurprising considering this is on the former route of the East Coast Main Line. Nikki did just want me to mention this building right here, and there's something rather interesting about that building, isn't there, Nikki?
Yeah.
Would you like to tell us what it is?
Yeah, I think that building is going to be the making of the Tales from the Village Green. So keep your eyes peeled to the channel for that one coming up soon.
I'll take you now via this shop on Station Road to the site of the old station. That cycle track we mentioned earlier used to form the old route of the East Coast Main Line. On the way, we pass the Ricall Village Institute. This is built on a half-acre site once known as the Cherry Orchard that was donated to the village by Tom Horner in 1927. Riccall Station served the village until 1964. It was here, at the end of Station Road. This is now not much more than just a dead end with a footpath leading towards Riccall Park. The park is known to the locals as the Rec. It has plenty of equipment, including some outdoor gym equipment, a basketball hoop, a skate park, and a huge grass area. Riccall Park is opposite some old railway houses according to this next board. The park has been here since 1885 and it seems mad to think a busy railway line once passed this peaceful area. Now behind these trees here is a water tower. Let's go and have a look at that next. The water tower is a great example of brutalist late 1960s and early 1970s architecture. The tower dates from the 1970s and it has what's known as glass bricks halfway up its central stanchion. In some ways, this is out of place when compared to the rest of the village. It's almost as if it shouldn't be here. I think it's all part of Riccall's character, quite frankly. This next house was interesting. It has some very old metal logos on its walls, one of which is the NCU, the National Cyclists Union, an 1878 association designed to regulate bicycle racing. Yes, it was new to me too. I'd never heard of it, but that might be an idea for a future video. Back lane now, which takes us past this building, which looked like some kind of small business. And as we headed for Landing Lane, we passed Manor Garth, which had this excellently weaved wooden fence. You can bet your bottom dollar Nikki was all over that. Okay, we're almost all the way around the route, which means you guys need today's picture bit. I really don't know what to put in this one, quite frankly, because we've covered quite a lot on this route. I don't know whether there'll be anything left.
I'm pretty sure that Ricall's got some more golden goodies in the background to pop in the picture bit.
I suppose I better get on the internet and see what I can find for you. To end, we walked down Landing Lane, which means passing the allotments. These were of great interest because they had a vast array of sunflowers. They're gorgeous things, they are. Finally, that Viking connection. In 1066, Harold Hardrada landed on the banks of the Ouse after sailing up the Humber. The street names Landing Lane, Viking Drive and Danes Court all reflect this. Hardrada set up camp at Ricol before his victory in the Battle of Fulford. Ricol has a footpath named after a man called Olaf who looked after the camp in Harold's absence. There's a small information board detailing the landing and the history in more detail at the approximate location where the Danes moored, right at the end of Landing Lane on the banks of the River Ouse. Well, if that's Ricol, you've had it. That's Ricol in the books. I think you've really enjoyed this one, haven't you, Mrs?
Yeah, it's been loads and loads to see and lots of stuff for me that I love. So, you know, like the history points, you know, the older buildings, you know, being able to sort of visualise what buildings were before they were repurposed and things, and then coupled with some new stuff and then traditional stuff that we'd see in a village like this as well. So yeah, I've thoroughly enjoyed my time here.
Good, I'm glad of that. Let's see if you can enjoy the next one just as much, because that's where I'm going right now. This has been the parish of Ricol, and I've been Andy, also known as the Village Idiot, and I'm out.